Multicultural education is defined as an idea, a reform movement, and a process whose major goal is to change the structure of educational institutions so that male and female students, exceptional students, and students who are members of diverse racial, ethnic, and language and cultural groups will have an equal chance to achieve academically in school. Coming to America, there are definitely problems of implementation. Those include, but are not limited to, the fear of losing your mother tongue while you are learning English, not fitting in with others, taking ESL classes, or just experiencing micro and macro aggressions of racism from your counterparts. The fear of losing your mother tongue is really relevant because I know personally trying to blend into the American educational system while still embracing my roots at such a young age was very tricky. From not knowing English at all to then growing older and hearing things like, "You sound white," while trying to depict whether or not it was a compliment because my English had gotten better or a rude comment because it had seemed as if I had lost my mother tongue. It was either being asked why I spoke white with my black friends or why I had some type of accent with my Caucasian friends. Another obstacle is not fitting in with others. Blending into the American educational system, you gotta get used to things such as their food. I know back in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, it was a norm to eat steamed white jasmine rice every night. Consequently, moving to America and eating things like macaroni and cheese was interesting, to say the least. Another obstacle is ESL classes. As a daughter who came to America for the sole reason of education and the American dream, immigrating to the United States as a toddler, time and time again, my circumstances left me feeling as if I had little room for flexibility, making it seem as if I had no room at all for failure. It was moments when I was being pulled out of my class for ESL that planted the seeds of imposter syndrome, something I couldn't recognize or label in the past. Now looking back makes perfectly good sense as to why I was feeling those feelings. Lastly, micro and macro aggressions. I'm going to school every day and hearing remarks such as African booty scratcher, or legitimately being asked if I slept in trees where I came from. Now that I look back, I realize the blame that I want to put on my peers, that's not the right place to put it. It's more so the teachers that are instilling these ignorant ideas into students through lessons, also through the help of mainstream media. Another constraint put on African students as they adapt to the U.S. educational system is the fact that many programs and even schools combine and just lump all different kind of students in one singular classroom, regardless of their social, cultural, academic, and personal differences. Specifically, Africans represent 6% of all the immigrants to the United States. However, despite the increase of African-born students migrating to the U.S., schools such as Rock Island High School actually do very little to facilitate their integration through the implementation of necessary curricular adjustments. Due to the absorption of African immigrant populations into the larger context of the Black race, little is actually known about their histories, their cultures, and their achievements. However, this one-size-fits-all multicultural curriculum in a society where multiculturalism represents a multiplicity of ideologies and identities beyond race and nationality is a big red flag. A curriculum that is oblivious to the histories of some immigrant societies while exalting others creates a sense of social exclusion and intellectual intimidation. That being said, when a student's culture is publicly degraded or misrepresented, the resulting feelings of shame, anger, and victimization are detrimental to their overall integration into the host society. That being said, it makes the overall adaptation to the new culture 10 times harder. The American dream, full of endless promise, endless hope, and endless possibility. So when one actually comes to America and starts working towards said dream, they realize it's much harder than what it actually seems. They stands for the marginalized immigrant students who come to the U.S. educational system much older, who are much more likely to face unequal opportunities towards their education, since their educational and cultural capital is completely disregarded and ignored. You have students, for example, with credits from their third world countries coming into America, hoping to be appropriately matched into a grade, but ending up in 9th grade as a legal adult. They are racing the literal clock to graduate, otherwise be kicked out for high school, which is at age 21, and find their own motivation to finish and obtain a GED. For Richard, this is his reality. Do you feel like you're racing against the clock to finish on time before you reach a certain age, or are you just just going with the flow?
No, it's still I'm gonna finish school when I'm old.
Yeah,
that's 21.
Yeah. While students like Richard, whose cultures and experiences aren't acknowledged while transitioning into different educational systems, they experienced also a thing called curriculum culture shock. Curriculum culture shock stems from inadequate transitioning between curriculum, thus leading to the invalidation of prior educational experiences in their third world countries. So then it generates the feelings of intellectual inferiority. Though reaching the golden idea of multicultural education in America probably won't happen overnight, there are some beginning steps we can take as a community. Bring back diversity celebration in our schools, promoting the fact that we as Africans are more than exotic clothing and pure entertainment. And secondly, we can increase our diversified author selection so that through mass media, movies, and books, we can display films made by, directed by, acted by Africans to expose different perceptions of the richness of Africa and its people and what it has to offer.